Look, I need to tell you about the stupidest decision I ever made and how it completely destroyed everything I thought I wanted. Anyway, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoy my videos, and don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. So 3 weeks ago, I thought I had life figured out perfectly. I'm Holly, 24, and I was living with my boyfriend Wayne in our apartment while building my TikTok following. 300,000 followers isn't massive, but it's decent money when you understand how to work the algorithm properly. Wayne worked some client services job where he dealt with difficult people all day, some coming home exhausted and drained, while I was out here creating something that could actually generate real income instead of just trading hours for dollars like some corporate slave. When we first started dating 2 years ago, Wayne used to be more engaged with what I was doing. He'd actually listen when I talked about content ideas, even helped me film sometimes. But lately, he'd just nod along with this glazed expression like he was humoring a child. It was starting to really irritate me. Here I am potentially building our financial future, and he's treating it like some silly hobby that doesn't matter. My engagement had been dropping steadily for weeks, and I was getting desperate. The algorithm is absolutely brutal. 1 week you're flying high with views and brand deals, the next week you're invisible. I'd been brainstorming with my best friend Jocelyn about what kind of content could break through the noise, and she mentioned how prank videos always go viral. Especially relationship pranks, she said over coffee one afternoon. People absolutely devour that drama. I knew she was right. I'd watched smaller creators explode overnight with the right prank video. Wayne had been dropping hints about proposing for months, asking about ring styles and what kind of wedding I envisioned. Part of me felt excited, but another part felt like he was just going through the expected motions. Like he thought that's what we were supposed to do next. Get engaged, get married, have kids, become another boring suburban couple. Meanwhile, I was trying to build something bigger than that conventional path. The night before I filmed the prank, I spent hours planning every detail. I knew exactly how to position the lighting, what camera angle would capture both our faces for maximum emotional impact, how to frame the shot for the most dramatic effect. I even practiced my delivery in the bathroom mirror, the right combination of fake guilt mixed with believable sadness. I convinced myself it would be hilarious, that Wayne would laugh about it afterward when he saw how viral it went, that maybe it would even help him understand how important my career was to our relationship. The day I decided to film, Wayne came home looking completely exhausted. He'd been dealing with some nightmare client situation all week, and I could tell he just wanted to decompress and forget about work. Perfect timing, actually. He'd be more vulnerable, more likely to have a genuine reaction that would translate well on camera. I had everything set up in the living room, ring light position just right, camera angle, tested multiple times to ensure perfect framing. "Hey, babe," I said when he walked through the door, giving him my sweetest smile. "Come sit with me for a second." He looked confused, but dropped his work bag and sat down next to me on the couch. I hit record and immediately felt that familiar rush of being on camera, of creating content that could change everything. This was going to be incredible. We need to talk," I said, letting my expression shift to serious and concerned. I watched his face change, saw that little spark of panic flash in his eyes. God, he was so transparent sometimes. I've been seeing someone else. The way his entire face just crumbled was perfect. I'd never seen him look like that before. Not when his dad had his heart attack last year. Not when he got passed over for that position he wanted. This was different. This was me breaking him in real time, and the camera was capturing every single second of genuine devastation. "What?" he whispered, and his voice actually cracked. I almost broke character right then, but I pushed through because this was exactly the kind of raw emotion that makes content go absolutely viral. For like 3 months now, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. He makes me feel things you don't anymore. The lies flowed so easily from my mouth. I was actually impressed with my acting abilities. This felt Oscar-worthy, like I could have a real future in performance. Then he started crying. Not dramatic sobbing or anything theatrical, just these silent tears rolling down his cheeks, while he stared at me in complete shock. And instead of feeling guilty like I probably should have, I felt excited. This was exactly the kind of raw, authentic emotion that makes content explode across social media. People would be talking about this reaction for weeks, sharing it, commenting on it. But then something shifted inside me. Watching him sit there completely destroyed, believing that the woman he loved and trusted had been cheating on him for months, I started laughing. I couldn't help myself. The whole situation was just so absurd and perfect. Here he was crying over something that wasn't even real, and I was about to become TikTok famous because of his genuine pain. "Oh my God, babe, it's a prank," I said, turning the camera toward myself with a huge grin. "I'm not really cheating. It's for TikTok. Look at your face." I was laughing so hard I could barely get the words out clearly. This is going to get so many views. The crying was absolutely perfect. Wayne just sat there in complete silence. It didn't say a single word, didn't laugh, didn't even look relieved like I expected. He just stared at me with these empty, hollow eyes while tears were still wet on his cheeks. I kept the camera rolling because this was good content too. The aftermath, the reveal, his reaction to discovering it was all fake for social media. Come on, it's funny," I said, but my laughter was starting to feel forced and uncomfortable. "Don't be mad. It's just for content. Everyone does these prank videos now." He still wasn't saying anything, and the silence was starting to make me genuinely uncomfortable. This wasn't how it was supposed to go in my head. He was supposed to be relieved, maybe a little annoyed at first, but then we'd laugh about it together and he'd understand. Instead, he stood up and walked toward our bedroom without a word. I followed him, still filming because this was still content, and I needed to capture everything. "Seriously, you're really mad. It was just a joke." But when I saw him pull out his luggage and start methodically packing clothes, something cold and uncomfortable settled in my stomach. What are you doing?" I asked, but he didn't respond. Just kept folding clothes with mechanical precision, grabbing his toiletries, his laptop charger, essential items. "You're not actually leaving over a prank." Still complete silence. The quiet was killing me, and worse, it wasn't good for the video. Dead air doesn't go viral or generate engagement. "This is ridiculous," I said, my voice getting sharper and more frustrated. "Say something. You're being so dramatic about nothing." But he just kept packing with this robotic efficiency like he was checking items off some predetermined list. Pack shirts, pack pants, pack dignity, leave girlfriend who humiliated him for internet points. I was getting genuinely frustrated now. This wasn't the reaction I wanted or needed, and it definitely wasn't the content I had planned for. "Fine, leave then. See if I care. You can't even take a simple joke." But even as the words came out of my mouth, I could hear how hollow and desperate they sounded. When he zipped up that suitcase and headed for the door, I finally realized this might actually be real. "Wait, seriously, you're really leaving over this?" He stopped at the door and looked at me with the camera still in my hands, still recording his every move and expression. "Was any of it real?" he asked quietly. Or was I just content this whole time? I didn't know how to answer that question. Because the truth is, the line had gotten pretty blurry over the past few months between our actual relationship and what made good social media content. After Wayne walked out, I spent the next several hours editing the video carefully. I cut out the part where he packed and left, ended it right after the prank reveal, and added a caption that made it seem like we'd laughed it off together afterward. "Telling my BF I cheated prank?" His reaction? "He forgave me, don't worry." The video absolutely exploded overnight. 900,000 views in 24 hours, then 2 million, then 3 million, and climbing. My phone was constantly buzzing with notifications, my follower count was climbing rapidly, and brands were already sliding into my DMs about potential partnerships. This was exactly what I'd wanted. Viral fame, massive engagement, real money opportunities, finally within reach. But the comments weren't what I expected at all. Sure, some people thought it was hilarious and were praising my acting skills, but most were calling me cruel and manipulative. Making someone cry on purpose isn't funny. This is emotional abuse disguised as entertainment. She's absolutely toxic. The hate was intense and personal, but hate engagement is still engagement, right? Controversy generates views and money. Wayne wasn't answering any of my texts or calls. I sent him 38 messages over 2 days trying to explain how beneficial this was for both of us, how we could capitalize on this viral moment together. The video is doing amazing numbers. You should come back. We can film a reconciliation video. People want to see us together. This is good for both of us. Then I saw his comment, posted from his real account with his actual name attached where everyone could see it. He told everyone the complete truth, that he'd left me, that I'd edited out his real reaction, that we were over permanently. Within just a few hours, it had 50,000 likes and was the top comment on my video. I called him immediately, absolutely screaming, "What did you do? Delete that comment right now." But he refused completely. Said he'd post the full unedited video if I tried to lie about what actually happened. The video where I filmed him packing and walking out, where I called after him, where the real story was captured in full. My follower count started dropping rapidly. 50,000 gone in just 2 days. Sponsors were asking uncomfortable questions, pulling deals without explanation. The makeup brand that was supposed to pay me $15,000 over 3 months gone completely. Another $8,000 deal also disappeared overnight. 3 weeks later, and my entire life has completely imploded in ways I never imagined possible. The video is still up because it's the only thing keeping my engagement numbers barely alive, but it's become a monument to my own stupidity and cruelty. Wayne's comment now has 380,000 likes, and it's been screenshot and shared across every social media platform imaginable. I'm not just TikTok famous anymore. I'm TikTok infamous in the worst possible way. I lost 140,000 followers total. Had to move back in with my parents because I couldn't make rent on our apartment. My dad won't even look at me directly. He watched the video read Wayne's comment and told me I brought shame on our entire family. The few remaining sponsorship deals I had dried up completely. Nobody wants to work with someone who's known for emotional manipulation and cruelty. I tried posting apology videos, but people saw right through every single one. Called them damage control, said I was only sorry because I got caught and faced consequences. I even started a Patreon account begging my remaining fans to support me through this difficult time in my life. 23 subscribers total, $230 a month. My rent used to be $1,400. The absolute worst part I found out through mutual friends, that Wayne's doing incredibly well. Emery told Jocelyn that he signed a lease on his own apartment, started seeing someone new. Not anyone cliche, just someone normal who doesn't see him as potential content, someone who actually respects him as a human being instead of a prop. Meanwhile, I'm 24 years old, living in my childhood bedroom, watching my career circle the drain because I thought someone else's genuine pain would make good entertainment. I keep telling myself it was just a harmless prank, that people are completely overreacting, that cancel culture has gone way too far. But late at night when I can't sleep, I remember the look on Wayne's face when he asked if any of it was real between us. 8 months after the video went viral, I'm working at a local retail store for $12 an hour. My TikTok account is basically dead. Maybe 5,000 views per video, if I'm extremely lucky. The internet has moved on to the next drama and scandal, but my reputation hasn't recovered at all. Every time I try to rebuild or start fresh, someone recognizes me as that girl who made her boyfriend cry for views. Wayne's absolutely thriving without me. I heard through mutual connections that he got a better position at work, moved into a really nice apartment downtown. His new girlfriend seems perfect for him. Supportive, genuine, someone who builds him up instead of tearing him down for content and views. They look genuinely happy in the few photos I've managed to see online, and it makes me physically sick. I've been going to therapy mostly because my parents insisted and threatened to kick me out otherwise. The therapist keeps trying to get me to take full accountability, to really understand how I weaponized Wayne's trust and love for internet points and fame. But the truth is, I still think people completely overreacted to everything. It was one prank, one moment of questionable judgment. Did it really deserve to destroy my entire life and future? The video is still up on my account, still sitting at 5.2 million views, still generating a tiny trickle of ad revenue that barely covers my phone bill each month. Wayne's comment is still there too, still the top comment, still telling the truth. I tried desperately to hide from everyone. Sometimes I think about deleting the whole thing, but it's the only proof I was ever successful at anything meaningful. I tell people I'm taking a break from social media to focus on real life, but the truth is, I'm just waiting for people to forget completely, for the internet to move on to newer scandals, for some fresh drama to make mine look tame by comparison. Maybe someday I can rebuild my following, create content again, find my way back to relevance and income. But deep down, I know that's probably never going to happen. I had something real with Wayne, a relationship, a future, someone who actually loved me for who I was, and I threw it all away for 5 minutes of viral fame that destroyed everything. Now I'm just another cautionary tale about what happens when you mistake cruelty for content. The worst part isn't the lost followers or the dead career or even living with my parents at 24. It's knowing that Wayne was completely right to leave me, that I really did see him as content more than as a person I loved, that when he asked if any of it was real, the answer wasn't just about the fake cheating, it was about how I'd been treating our entire relationship. I destroyed something genuine and beautiful for something fake and temporary, and now I'm left with nothing but the memory of his tears and the sound of my own laughter echoing in an empty apartment that's no longer mine.